Well, it was like a... Oh, great. All right. We already covered that. How did these deaths affect you and your view of death and dying?
Well, I pretty much told you all that.
Yeah, you attended funerals as a child. I guess, all right, so in those two cases with the in grade school and in high school, what do you remember about, if you do, the funerals in those cases, if anything?
Seeing the coffin.
Okay.
Hearing the music. I have a vivid picture of the church. I can see the colors still. I can feel the sadness, just even thinking about it. The tears of, watching the family. Those are all pretty vivid. And for all of us children, having to be there and see it.
Yeah.
And nobody helping us understand. So it's still pretty vivid.
Is it kind of that, well, I'm sure you're a little older, but obviously you're older, but was it kind of the same case in high school then? When that...
Our friends still talk about the loss of her.
Wow.
We do.
Wow.
We all remember it. We all remember those two deaths. Because I'm still in touch with, that group of friends. We all remember it. We all remember the one in high school was in a car, came around a corner, slammed into a tree, and
that was it.
That was it.
Wow.
We all still say, remember when Eileen died. Yeah, so it was an impressionable time, I guess, of life.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think we were sophomores in high school, maybe.
Wow.
Maybe juniors. Yeah.
Wow. Did you talk about death when you were growing up? Not really. Was there anyone that you?
No.
Even with each other?
We didn't know how to talk about it other than to be sad, and talk about remember when. We didn't remember when we went here, went there, or we even still have pictures of her from grade school, and we go, oh, there's Eileen, remember when?
Wow.
It's a remember when kind of thing.
I wonder if at that age, it's kind of like watching a plane crash or something. What can you say?
Yeah.
It's just such a wow moment.
And no one talked about it with us. No one, like counselors do now. We didn't have counselors.
Yeah.
We just didn't. We just kind of went on with our lives. It was like, okay, put your big girl panties on and get moving.
Yeah.
That's the way society was. It was just very, all right, buck up, now let's move on. Very different now.
Yeah, very different now.
You didn't talk about your feelings much. Not gonna. And there was nobody to talk to him about. People didn't know how to do that. At least not the people, at that time that I remember. There wasn't anybody that took me aside and said, hey, how are you feeling about this? Didn't happen. You just tucked it away and moved on.
This is a good question. How comfortable or uncomfortable are you discussing death and dying?
Am I comfortable discussing it now? Totally.
obviously with the grief group and stuff like that. But
Sure. When right before I moved here a few months ago, I had a friend, one of my really good friends, and my group of girlfriends was dying of cancer.
okay,
And we all knew she was going to die. She knew she was going to die. And so it was a pretty constant thing for 2 years talking about it.
wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, almost 2 years from the time she was diagnosed.
Okay,
Watching her go through chemo. And so we were, in effect, talking about it all the time for a couple of years. I happened to be, of the 17 girls, I happened to be the last person to see her and talk to her. And for some odd reason, I had texted her maybe a couple of weeks before and told her that I was going to be moving and could I come to see her, because she wasn't allowing anyone to see her anymore because she was so thin.
yeah,
She was embarrassed. And I got no response. And I was kind of sad because I really wanted to see her before I left.
yeah.
I got a text message from her like at 8 o'clock at night. And I thought, well, this is really strange. She said, you can come anytime you want to. And I thought, does she mean now or tomorrow? And so I texted back. I said, I can come anytime. I got no answer. And I thought, what the heck? I'm getting in the car. I'm driving over there. So at 9 o'clock, I showed up at the house. The house was dark except for the family room light. And I knew she had been sleeping there. And so I just gently knocked on the door, and her husband came, and he looked at me and he goes, what are you doing here, Shirley? And I said, I got this text message from Trish. And I didn't know what to do, so I just thought I would come, because she said I could come anytime. And I said, if it's a bad time, if she was kind of like under the morphine thing, I'll go away and it's okay, don't worry. And he said, well, let me go talk to her. And he came back and he said, no, she wants to see you.
Huh.
So I went in and I sat with her, and we talked about dying. We talked about Bob's death. We talked about, the fact that she said, I wish I could still be here to see my grandkids grow up.
Yeah.
And so we talked about death. We cried together. And I said a little prayer with her, and she died the next morning. So I was the last person of our group of 17 girlfriends. Why I got the text, I don't know. But the girlfriend said, of anybody, you were the right person to be with her last. And so because I was so comfortable talking about it, and because of all of my experiences with it, I think it just came out. So,
all right. Have you prepared a will, like a living will, or a power of attorney?
yes, I'm all done with that. Did it a long time ago. Because I think it's good to have all that done so the family doesn't have to worry.
I agree. So that probably answers the next question. Have you planned your funeral / memorial service?
Not really, but I have Bob's ashes, and Bob wants to be buried with me, so I keep his ashes. And I think I've told Sharon that in the front of my Bible, I've written a lot of passages and songs that I like. And I said, you want to know anything about me and what I want? You open up that front cover of the Bible, it's all right there. So, in effect, yes. But down to, I want this or that might change.
Yeah.
But that part of it is there.
This is not on here. And it's kind of a weird question, but do you want to be cremated or buried? Or do you even have a preference?
I think I want to be cremated.
Okay. Is there a reason for that?
One might be financial.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a big factor. It costs a lot. It's a little cheaper to do it. I don't know. I'm leaving it up to the kids to decide where they want to bury us. And, I'll be gone, so I really don't care.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it was Bob said, well, and he had it written down that he wanted to be buried with me. He was like Mr. Organized. And I said, that's fine. And he said, and I suppose you'll go to Omaha after I'm gone, and I have to be buried in that cold ground up there. And we just laughed about it. I said, yeah, you're probably right, but I'll leave it up to the kids. So I trust them to do what's going to make them comfortable.
Yeah.
It isn't about my comfort. I'm already comfortable and gone.
Yeah.
So if they're comfortable with me going in the ground, and if that's going to be where they want me, that's fine. If they want me in a mausoleum, then that's okay too. If they want, I just would like a memorial service. That's fine. I think it will depend on where I end up as a church, because I do want some sort of a religious burial.
Okay. I kind of agree.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about it. We went to a mortuary yesterday morning. And so I don't personally see the point in embalming. I mean, I see the point in embalming, but I would never want to be embalmed and buried.
Well, here's the point about that. And this is a really good thing. I've been to several conferences on death and grieving, and this doctor pointed out the fact that it allows people to process it.
We talked about that in class, and I kind of brought that up.
It's really important that we allow people to experience that and not say, oh well, he's gone, his ashes. So that whole process of funeral and grieving and allowing people to support you is there with that whole process. That's what that's all about. It's, and I get that.
Do you think that?
I think that's good for some people.
So in that sense, do you think that cremation might have some adverse effects in terms of the family being able to grieve? Or do you think that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it could with some people. Mm-hmm. It's a fast way to get things done. It's a way to sort of avoid looking at the body, looking at the coffin. But then again, you have to go with the wishes of the person who is dying. So you have to think about that. Do they want that? Yeah. Do they want someone looking at them in a coffin? I think it's like it's so deeply personal.
Yeah.
Do I want somebody looking at me? I'm probably not going to be looking that good, so I don't know, but I do understand the other part of it, that it allows that grieving process to take place when you do see that person and you're able to say the goodbye. It's about saying goodbye in a different way. When you have a memorial, it's that's a different way to say goodbye. But I think you have to respect the dying person, what their wishes are.
Do you have anything that you want to, in terms of just like personal loss, that you want to?
Personal what?
Loss. Sorry.
No, I think I
Sorry.
pretty much shared my loss. I think the biggest loss I've had in my life has been my husband.
Yeah.
And
Mine too.
and one of the things that I miss most is the joy and happiness and laughter and fun.
Yeah.
And those are all things that are lost, that I have to find in a different way now. Deep loneliness, just a terrible, terrible loneliness that's always kind of hanging around. And so, people have a tendency to want to run out and hurry up and fill that up. I kind of just let it happen. When I feel that, I just experience it and let it happen. And then it goes away.
Have you ever read Tuesdays with Marie?
I have the book, but I think wasn't there a movie on that too?
Probably.
I think I saw it.
It's only like a 200-page book.
Yeah, I think I have the book.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
But